feeling a little bit better, which is good, but still not fully 100%. Ooh, keep having to get throat lozenges and try not to yell. Deep breaths still make me want to cough. So, anyway, I'm working on the door. Let's change this. That's better. I don't know why it does that, actually. Just stop. Stop. Fine, whatever. Is that auto? I don't know if it's on auto. I don't know. But I'm working on the door. I was cutting up some of this moving blanket. Oh, tape measure. And trying to get it to fit just right. It's good, but that stuff is incredibly hard to cut because it is dense. There's a piece of it right here. That's how thick it is. Right there, you can see that. It's thick, and that is a lot of fibers. Even my best scissors had difficulty. So, now I have all the foam in here. Just piled it in there just because it was the only, space as of right now. And so I got the panels, the base traps. There's going to be 3 for each corner. Got them, unpacked them, but there is still a lot of deformity in them. But I did only open them up today. Yeah, earlier today, probably around 3 o'clock today, and it is 7 o'clock. So still tons of time for them to expand. Ooh, and I only got them yesterday, so, it's not like they've been in the package for too long. I don't know how long they were in the package at the warehouse or wherever it is they ship them from. But, so I removed this shelf. I was able to take that one just clean off and remove the bar. But I can only remove the bar on this side. This shelf is nailed or screwed down, so I'm just going to use that as some kind of surface for putting microphone gear up top like I did before. It's basically the same setup as my previous studio where I had the shelf overhead off to my right. But the thing is I don't have a shelf here to put my keyboard and my mixer and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I'm gonna have to mount a screen and then actually put an actual standing desk in here. And yeah, still need to get carpet, but that's fine. It's fine, I can do that. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Oh, I didn't even show you this. Didn't even show you guys this. So I put together a makeshift booth right here. So this is a closet. This is what I'm going to be using as my actual closet. I'm going to be using this instead of that, so I can dedicate all of that to doing voiceover. So I have this, which has all my clothes. It's got all these cubbies and compartments and all this kind of stuff. But for right now, I actually kind of moved those over so I could clear space for this, and I didn't put anything in this one yet, so that I could use my ISK ICDM dynamic microphone, which is going into the Simply Sound Company sound device, the SS1 or whatever. And that is going into my mixer. The mixer is providing phantom power to the microphone amplifier, and that is going back into the mic. And then the mixer is going via USB and via little adapter right here into my iPad, which is using Twisted Wave. So what I'm going to do is record it on my standard definition, standard kilohertz and bit rate and all that kind of stuff, and then save it into Dropbox, and then go on to my laptop and then edit the audio file there and then send that to the client. It's a little bit more work, but it's going to work just fine. Actually, this window right here, there's a window behind this. This window gave me all kinds of trouble. Okay, there's all sorts of traffic. There are tons of gaps in the window, and so I was getting all the traffic noise and all that kind of stuff. As of right now, I have a curtain behind the screen And I got the screen all the way down, and then I have this thicker curtain, which used to be the door on my sound booth before. That over that, and it's just hooked up to the top, and it goes all the way down to the floor, and it covers the window completely. And it did actually help. It did actually make a difference, but I am going to want to put something heavier, some kind of thicker material on the other side of this, like in between the screen or whatever, the blinds and the first curtain, like some kind of mineral wool or something like that. So I gotta put my bed together. Still laying on the floor, but you know, I have just been focusing on, you know, doing no, stop it, there we go. Just focusing on getting ready to do voiceover, because that's something that I'm gonna need to do like real soon. I have 2 clients and possibly a third that I'm gonna need to do this week, and it is already Wednesday. So, and as the week goes on, more work comes in, so I need something. So I'm going to try to negotiate for more time on some of them. If I can't, then I'll try to do it on there, clean it up as best I can, and try to build my recording studio as fast as possible. But anyway, I need to take a shower, then I go for a drive, and then when I come back, I need to put more stuff away. Alrighty, so the project is coming along. The door is basically done. The door is basically complete. Go ahead and let you guys hear what this sounds like. Oh, so awful. Not all the glue is dry yet, but it closes and it seals pretty solidly. There's a little bit of blue on the edge, but it's fine. It's just for sound, doesn't have to look pretty. But yeah, I used adhesive spray. So this is large moving blankets. And then I used, so this, had to use a coat, kind of a light coating on the surface, and then a light coating on the foam itself. So, and I think the stuff kind of comes off like as like strings, and it kind of goes everywhere because it's kind of like a little bit more like silly string, I guess. And so it's kind of like on the floor, and so you can hear that. So I got it on my shoes, but that means I'm gonna have to mop up this area before putting the carpet in. So I'm gonna wait till I do all the walls and do all that, and then put the carpet in. But I got plenty of foam. These are all pretty much good. There's like I think there's like this one. It still looks a little crazy, a little weird. And that one too. But for the most part, they're all basically the same size. They're not perfect, not perfect triangles. But yeah, they'll fill the corners fine. I'll figure it out. But yeah, that's done. I'm going to go grab some more moving blankets and start pinning them and stapling them to the walls. And then I'll start gluing foam, and hopefully I can do 3 of these walls. Do that one, and then like the ceiling, and then I can start recording in here while I'm still doing like the other walls on the floor, because that'll at least give me, you know, no standing waves. I think that's what Mike Delgadio says. Anyway, so yeah, it's coming along. I got a lot out of my chest, so I'm feeling better, sounding better. I'm going to use my temporary setup today, because I got to get something done. I'm going to probably put up a stand with one of the moving blankets on it behind me, and that should work just fine. So anyway, yeah, I'll keep you guys posted. All right, so we are in what is going to be the voiceover space. I look terrible. I have my shirt inside out because it's more comfortable that way. And the only thing I've done is this door. It's the only thing. See that? And I haven't put anything on these walls yet, or the ceiling, and there's no carpet in here. So we're gonna do a little bit of before and after, so that you'll be able to tell like how big a difference it is. And I'll try to do it like incrementally. So, oh, that sharp echo. Hear that? Huang, huang. Worst sound ever. Worst sound ever. Well, that and the baby crying. That and then baby crying in that order. All right, so yeah, now I'm gonna just get some of this on the walls, and then I'll glue foam. All right, so as of current, I only have the door basically finished and these two walls with the panel on it, nothing on the ceiling, and nothing on these two walls, and nothing on the floor. So again, another reverberation test. You can still tell that it's pretty bad, but I'm actually starting to notice that there's kind of a thud more than a sharp ping, which I think it's because of these right here. So it sounds more like a hollow tube rather than like a hollow metal tube. So. Hear that kind of thud at the end? That kind of goom. I think that's because of these. Pretty sure. But it doesn't have that sharp metal sound because this like really smooth paint is very sharply reverberant. These has got a little bit more of a thud because it goes in, but doesn't bounce back all of the sound. So, anyway, that's that for that. Alrighty, this is what I got thus far in the entire place. So I have all the walls now covered. No ceiling and no floors. So there's very much a up and down tube sound because that's where most of the reverb is happening. So let you guys kind of look around. So we've got thus far. Man, this thing does not turn very easily. All right, so I got the door finished. That was the first thing I did because it was kind of a test. There's still the gap at the bottom between those, but that's fine. You know, I'm not really worried about that too much. I'm probably going to be putting lights down there across the bottom, as well as maybe some of the paper lanterns, because it's a tall ceiling. It's a very tall ceiling. There's lots of room up there. I think it's like an 8-foot ceiling, so I could put paper lanterns up there totally fine and it wouldn't get in my way. And then I might not mount a screen here. In fact, what I might do is just have the screen on a stand and then basically have everything on a stand so I can move it around so it makes it a little bit more flexible. I'm probably going to do that, at least at first. If I find out that, you know, it being on a stand is kind of cumbersome or in the way or just not as stable, then I'll change it. But as of right now, I am leaving this there because this is what I had my, this is the kind of thing that I had my earphones rested on before. And I have this cover this kind of soft foam cover that goes over this. I think it's made out of like, I think I made it out of like the thumbs of gloves. So it just goes over this, and there's a piece of foam that goes in there so it won't mess up the earphones. But yeah, I'm gonna keep that because that's convenient. It's like right there, just walk out. And then there's one thing that I noticed. Now, yes, this is a larger space, so if it's cooled off, it'll stay cooled off a little bit longer because it's not as affected by my body heat. However, there are no vents in here like there were before. There's literally no vents. And so I am going to need to set up some kind of ventilation system. Let's see if the audio sounds better with this open. It does. Okay, just a little bit. But I'm definitely going to have some kind of ventilation system or some kind of AC unit, maybe that I can turn on when I'm not recording. Like a standing, more like air filtration kind of thing over in that corner. And just when I need it, walk out, turn that on, let it circulate some air, let it bring some air in and all that kind of stuff. I don't know. I'll figure that out in a bit. But yeah, I'm gonna need my brother's help to help me get that on the ceiling. Here's one thing that I actually like, is that this is one thing I was very, very nervous about, stapling these things to the wall, is that I was concerned that it would be too hard to remove if, you know, for some reason, maybe I got evicted for some reason, which has never happened, but let's say it does. This stuff actually, the wall is so thin that I can literally just pull, right here, and this whole thing will just pop off. The staples will just shoot right out. It doesn't take a lot of force. There's a couple of these sections that I had to like redo. And, you know, and I was just lightly tugging on it, and the staple just shot right out. It just came right off. So this stuff wouldn't take very long to take down. You know, just have to, you know, start at one corner and just start peeling, and it'll just come right off. It did no damage to the drywall or whatever. Just came off real easy because it's so soft. So that's good. But then I have to put the stuff up there, and then carpet. So that clean in here after I'm done with that, and I'm not going to be doing any more of that. You know, clean it, bring the carpet in, you know, make sure it's the right size. And what I'll probably do is I'll probably lightly spray some kind of adhesive on the corners of the carpet to make sure that it sticks, because I don't want it to be permanent, but at the same time I don't want it to slide. So I want some kind of equilibrium, some kind of happy medium. And then I'll start applying the foam pieces once I figure out where I'm going to be putting the bass traps. I'm going to be putting the bass trap pieces. That's basically going to decide where everything's going to be. I'm thinking that I'm going to be putting like 2 here and then 1 above that, or I might just be doing from here all the way down. But there is a spot like right here where this thing kind of gets in the way. This little corner piece, oh, right there. This little corner piece kind of gets in the way, so I may just do it from here and then just 1 above these things, above these things, and then just have the foam squares, the foam cubes up in the very top corners, and then the rest of it is just going to be paneled with the standard acoustic foam, and that should work. That should work. That should get rid of bass. That should round off the corners so it's not as much of a boxy shape. And if I can find a thick enough carpet, then that'll be fine. And then this will be ready to go. I'm actually, now that I'm looking at the size of it, how much room I have, I'm probably not going to be mounting anything here. I may later for like lights or something like that. But what I was thinking was my gooseneck mic stand. I was actually going to be mounting the attachment to there, and then having a gooseneck out to here, you know, and then this would be basically where I'd be standing, and the screen would be there, and the gooseneck would be there. But the reason I don't want to do that is because there's a lot of stomping going on. There's a lot of like upstairs. I think he has like I think the upstairs neighbor has like maybe like 2 or 3 kids or something like that. Either that or he's an incredibly hyperactive barefoot river dancer. I don't know. But, so I don't want to put anything attached to the wall just in case there's that many vibrations. Before it was fine because it was, you know, relatively isolated. But this is like right on the wall, so I'm probably just going to have it on the stand. Basically everything on a stand, make it easier. And then I need to get some kind of standing desk for the keyboard and mouse. And then, yeah, just feed all the cords underneath the door and then have the PC right there and actually have a desk right there so I can actually sit down and edit. If it's long form, actually sit down and edit right there. And then just do basic recording in here and then maybe light editing in here and then send it. And it's good to go. So that is the idea. That is the plan. I'm still kind of nervous about this thing because it is a large piece. What I may do is I may take a small section of this stuff and then just cut it to fit this like that. So I can still get to these and it can still come off. And at the same time, I can still remove that if need be. And it's not being like just boxed in. It's not just being, you know, blocked off. So let's go ahead and turn that off. There we go. It looks better. So that is something I'm probably going to do. I may put some panels there. I don't know. I don't know. I'm also debating on whether or not I should be making actual large acoustic rectangles, like large acoustic panels, like actual bass trap panels to put up top. I don't know if I'm going to be doing that. Because again, I kind of want to limit how much I actually hang up there, how much I actually do. So, I don't know, I kind of like the idea of just putting the foam on there and then, if need be, just ripping these things off and the foam just comes off with it. Which is exactly what would happen with the door, because those pieces are glued on there and I can just take that off and then just like roll it up. You know, kind of squish the foam, but roll it up and take it and go. That's the idea. So, anyway, that's where I am as of right now. Well, let's do another clap test. Now, close the door. I'm going to do another clap test. Still sounds horrible. Still sounds horrible. Alrighty, so all of the walls and ceiling are covered now. So I'm gonna give you a little look. So you can see that. That was incredibly hard to get up. Very, very hard. And I did it by myself. Normally, I was actually thinking that, sorry, I was actually thinking that I was gonna get that up with my brother's help, but I was like, you know, I can do this myself. And I almost killed myself. So I probably should have waited for him. But I got it up there by myself, and I feel like a man. So, here's what we got thus far. So, of course, the door. And then we have the corner pieces. These are the only corner pieces that I have as of right now. These are the only wedges that I have. I do have cubes coming in that I'm going to be putting up in those corners up there. But the rest of this is going to be, there was surprisingly enough space for a two triangle section. I just had a few of those pieces lying around. I actually had 4 of those pieces lying around, so I put one in each one of those because that's exactly how much space those required. So yeah, there's no carpet in here yet. It's going to sound way different when there's carpet in here. As of right now, pretty much the only thing that I'm really getting sharp echoes from is the floor. The ceiling sounds a whole lot better. It's not as sharp in here. So we'll do a little clap. So there's a thud. There's more of a thud, but there's not as much bounce back. Again, putting carpet in here is going to make a huge difference. I don't think I'm going to be spraying on the panels, the wedges, the foam panels on all the walls. I may just nail them onto these walls because I not ran out, but I only have 1 can of adhesive left. And this is all the adhesive that I used it on, was all this and these corner pieces. So either I was using too much, which I thought it said, you know, even coating. So I did an even coating, and it said on both the wall or wherever it was going to be adhered to and the thing that's going to be adhered to the surface. So I did that, and then I ran out of 1 whole can, and that stuff's like $32 a can. So I'm like, I may just use that last can for the ceiling, because I think that's probably going to be best to hold those up there. I don't know. But for the ones on the wall, I'm probably just going to put a single nail through them like I did last time, and maybe later down the line when I actually feel more comfortable shelling out another $70 for adhesive spray. I mean, the $70, I mean, that was like this stuff, all of this. And I only used half of this to cover all this. I only used half of that. So, you know, if $70 for like 2 cans of spray, or, you know, twice as much of, you know, moving blankets. It's crazy. But, yeah. So Monday, I'm going to go find a 5x5 carpet or a rug or whatever. And then just nail those pieces on. And it should basically be ready to go. Should basically be ready to go. And by the way, I'm going to give a little silence. So there's still traffic noise outside, outside this room in my bedroom. This is the closet of my bedroom, which is going to be basically office more than bedroom. There's still traffic outside that window. We're right by 35, so it's never going to stop. Sometimes a day there's less traffic than others. And there, my brother is playing PlayStation 4, and there is no door other than that door right there to this room between us. There's no door, but you know, every other door is open, so it's like a straight shot. And if I open this door, I can hear him, but if I have it closed, I can't. And I was testing it, and it is 32 dB of noise in here, which is really good. I think it was 35 or 34 at my other closet voiceover studio. So big improvement there. I'll have to double check that. I'm not positive. But anyway, this is, yeah, I did that wall, and I did the ceiling, and I did those panels today. So I'm tired. That's probably what I'm going to do today. I don't want to nail anything because it's like midnight. So I don't like hammering, you know, in the middle of the night. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, my neighbors have done louder things while I've been trying to sleep, you know, and work. But anyway, so that's it for today. All right, so this is the 7th, I think. It is Sunday, and I have a little fan going because I had the door closed last night while I was sleeping because it still had kind of that paint smell from this stuff. That's the foam adhesive. And so I didn't want to just be breathing that in while I was working. So I have the door open and I have this little fan kind of circulating air through here, and I had that going for a little while. It smells a whole lot better. So now I'm putting up the foam panels on the wall, and I've been having to do a lot of measuring because it's not a perfect 5x5, and with the corner pieces, I think it's like 4. The space between the corner pieces, or yeah, the corner wedges, is less than 4.5. 4.5 no, it's 4 feet 5 inches. It's 4 feet 5 inches or something like that, I think. Yeah, because I'm doing in between each one of the, in the space between the wedges. And here on this wall at least, and it'll probably be the same on that wall, is going to be 2.5 inches between them. So it'll be the same on this side. So when they get over here, they'll be the same distance between the wedges. Just otherwise it's going to drive me insane. And I'm probably going to leave a little bit of a gap between these. Just kind of leave that open and then just do the pieces between these. I'm using these as kind of measuring gauges, kind of something to line up the panels with. You know, how high up they should go, and then this is going to be how far out they should go. So that's kind of helping me line them up. And I am nailing them in, putting them in different locations, not the same spots. I'm trying to, like, just again lightly nail them in, which should be easier because I'm not. There's less of a chance that I'm going to be touching the foam. Less of a chance because there's more room in here. I can actually extend my arms out like completely, rather than before it was like that. Later down the line, I will probably get more adhesive, you know, after I've made a couple gigs or cells in this space, once it's actually started to pay itself off. And then I'll actually glue them on. I did find out that Goo Gone, which is a chemical for taking off adhesive, actually works pretty well for getting rid of this stuff. When I was putting up these corner pieces, I was holding them and I was spraying them. I actually got, you know, a whole bunch of adhesive like on my arm, and it would not come off with soap and water. It just became more and more, it went from like a liquid to more of like a gel, and then almost like a concrete, the more soap and water I used. So, but I used Goo Gone and it just came right off. And then, you know, just soap and water to try to get rid of the Goo Gone, because I don't know how abrasive the chemical is and how deadly it would, or how bad it would be on your skin. So after I use the Goo Gone, immediately rinse the entire arm, wash it all off. And yeah, this stuff, the Goo Gone works pretty well on this stuff. So if you get it on the wall, if you get it on fabric, if you get it on anything else, it can actually take it off pretty well. So knowing that, when I eventually do move out of here, I know that I can use Goo Gone, and that should take all of these panels off with no damage and no hassle. So that's good. It's good to know that. But now I need to get to nailing these panels on, and yeah, and just get that done. I'm probably going to use the spray to get the panels on the ceiling though, because nails really don't work for that. I mean, in my other space, when I had them just nailed up top, you know, the ones in the middle were actually held on pretty good because it was like a friction fit between the pieces on either side. So each piece that was connecting to each piece was actually helping to hold the other piece on. But when you got to the corners, the ones on the edge, those ones were constantly falling off because, you know, they only had like one piece of foam pressing against them on one side, so they're just loose on the other side and they're just constantly falling off. So I will be using the spray for those. But anyway, let's get this done. Alrighty, so I now have the majority of the panels up. There's a huge gap over here because this is kind of an oddly spaced section, so it wouldn't be a perfect number of those, and the gap between them wouldn't be consistent all the way around. Wouldn't be consistent between those. So I had some four sections, some ones that are like 4 wide, and so I put those there and they work out pretty good. And what I'll probably do is that this area will be just open for any kind of cords to go to the ceiling and stuff like that. You're still hearing a little bit of echo, and that's because there's still nothing on the ceiling and there is still no carpet. But the majority of the walls are done. Let's actually move this around so you can see this one. This is probably the largest covered wall because this one has nothing on it and is most evenly spaced. So that is good. But yeah, it sounds a whole lot better in here. There's a lot less echo. There's just the up and down. The rest of this is going to be either the ceiling or random spaced gaps. Like there's a section over here like this. So I need to cut out sections that will fit all the way up here and across the top of the door. And that I'm probably looking at another four triangle sections, kind of like those ones over there, to go around, because that would work pretty well with about 1.5 inches between the corner piece and the foam, which is pretty consistent across the entire wall. And I'm liking that. I'm liking that. So again, these were all put up with nails. I did not use any spray, except for the ones in the corner, because those would have been very hard to nail in. I mean, I guess I could have put like one there and one there, but I kind of don't want to do that. So those ones fit really, really nice. And these ones, all the corner pieces have been kind of like landmarks for everything else, which I've liked. It's worked out pretty well. I need to do some more of these 2 triangle squares for over here, for in between here, like do 3 of them. And then I might do some here for these areas. But yeah, that is it thus far. I don't know if I'm going to be going to get carpet today. I might go look at carpet at least. I'm definitely going to want some kind of non-slip carpet foam for underneath it so it won't slide around. That way I don't have to glue it down. And then it's just going to be spraying and adhering foam to the ceiling and filling in the gaps, and then this is pretty much ready to go. Pretty much ready to go. What I'm probably going to do to eliminate these corners down here, because there's huge open space. You got the bare wall. I don't know how much I'm going to fill in this. What I'm probably going to do is I'm going to get some square boxes or some perfect cube boxes that have like lids that are also like kind of like footrest kind of things. You see those at Walmart and Target and stuff like that. And I'll probably put those in the corner. That way I can put stuff in them that I use on a regular basis inside here, whether it's like throat lozenges, bottled waters, paper, pens, pencils, stuff like that. I'll put those in there. So they'll also act as like base traps in the corner. And I'll probably do that for every single corner if I can, but definitely those 2. Over here, there's going to be a lot of electronics and a lot of, there's going to be the screen and there's going to be the boom over there. So I don't think I need any over in those corners, but definitely the ones behind me. Yeah, and there's still plenty of room on the ceiling to do paper lanterns, which I may do before I start putting any foam up there. I probably will. And as for the window, I've actually decided what I'm going to do with the window. So I have a whole bunch of this stuff left, a whole bunch of this material left, and what I'll probably do is measure out the window size and cut out a whole bunch of those pieces and do some kind of board to basically press them together and then fit that in the window. because that stuff is really heavy, it's really dense, and I have a lot of it left. So that'll probably work out pretty good for the window. But yeah, let's go ahead and measure out where the paper lanterns are going to be, because that one bulb is useless. So yeah, almost done. Alrighty, so it is now 11 o'clock Sunday night. Actually, it might be midnight. I haven't checked. But it should still be the 7th. So I have done pretty much all the walls. Now, the remaining pieces, like these sections right here, I already have all of them cut out and, you know, lined up, all numbered, and I already know, not numbered, but I know like how many more I need. They're all cut out. They're all over there. I actually now have some pieces to go up, and you see that little corner like right there across, that way, that way, like that, across there. I have some two section size pieces to fill the rim around there, to kind of fill that gap. Still waiting on the cubes, but I've kind of measured out. So the cubes are 20 centimeter by 20 centimeter by 20 centimeter. So I know about where they're going to be. I also have some paper lanterns up in the corner, which is giving a really, really good light. So I have one light up there, paper lantern, and I'll probably still do a rim of LEDs around the bottom. Got to give a full lighting everywhere. But yeah, so this is a lot more filled in over here. It's a lot more filled in. I'm done hammering for the night because, again, it's 11 o'clock and I don't want to do any more hammering while there's people trying to sleep. But I do have all the pieces cut out, and I know where everything's going to be now. I know that it's going to be 12 to 16 panels to do the ceiling, but I kind of want to wait on that until I get the cubes in. But the cubes could be here anywhere between the 12th and the 22nd, I think. So I may go ahead and just kind of block out, you know, where they're going to be, and then kind of just leave that open so that I can still go ahead and put the panels on the ceiling. I went and got some carpet grip. Not the carpet yet. I got some foam that goes underneath the carpet for its like no slip, for just in case it's on tile or wood or stuff like that. It kind of helps it not move around. So I want to put that down there. So it's a 5x5, but this isn't perfectly 5x5. This is like, I think Stephen, how he measured it, was like 5 foot 1 inch by 5 foot 4 inch. So when I go and get carpet, I'm gonna have to have them cut out 5 foot 1. So we went to Home Depot, and I was looking for, you know, rugs. I would have settled for a 5x5. I would have settled for a 5x5. There would have been a little bit of gap around the edge. There would have been a little tile showing, but it would have been fine. It would have been fine. It wouldn't really have affected that much. But due to the fact that now I'm going to have to go and specifically request a cutting of a specific size from actual carpet, I'm going to go ahead and get like the actual size of the room if I'm going to have to, you know, custom cut it. But they come in spools of 12 foot, and you can cut them to like 5 foot 1, and then have them cut it to 5'4". But then I still have to pay for the whole 12 foot by 5 foot 1 inch. I still have to pay for the whole thing. So that wasn't in the budget as of for today. So I went ahead and I'll wait for tomorrow after I drop Stephen off, and I go and I talk to the people at the office, because I haven't gotten my emails for Amazon boxes yet, and I need to make sure that I get those. I don't know why they haven't been sending me. Look how crazy my hair is. Got this little lip right there. Craziness on the back. It's just maniac hair. Just insane maniac hair. Just nonsense. So same. So I need to go talk to them at the office. I also don't have my mailbox key yet. I don't know why that they didn't hand that to me at the same time. But they didn't even hand me the key to the apartment. They just put the lock on this apartment, which is the same as the key that I already had. So I gotta go do that. But yeah, basically as soon as I put carpet in here, it'll almost be ready to go. I can probably start recording. I'll probably have to record with a dynamic microphone at first, so I'm not hearing the roof, the ceiling as much, but I could probably start recording in here. I'll probably record with an iPad because I don't have like a full desk to set up for the actual computer yet. I do have a desk that's in the other room that I can probably move in here, but I need to move a lot of stuff around first. But that's probably what I'll do, is I'll probably start recording with a dynamic. But I need the carpet. I do need the carpet. So yeah, that's where I am. I got some 2 paper lanterns, and I replaced the bulb up there a while back. I don't know why I'm showing you. It's just gonna be a blot of white. But I replaced the bulb. Before it was like a yellowish incandescent bulb, and I like the kind of daylight, the cool blue lighting. It just looks more natural. It just looks more natural. Also, it's brighter. It's brighter. It's much brighter in here. So anyway, that's it for now. Tomorrow there will be more information, and yeah, that's basically it. Alrighty, so sorry, just got done vacuuming and sweeping. I'm dying. I am dying. I am straight dying. Okay, so I just got the carpet, and I just finished cutting the size that I needed. It was $47 to buy 12 foot by 5 foot 1 inch of carpet. You know, that's about that thick from Home Depot, which is way cheaper than buying a rug that's about the size that I would need. It's way cheaper. So if you guys are putting together a studio, that's what you're gonna do. So now that I have cut it down, I also vacuumed it to try to get rid of all the extra loose fibers, because any carpet or rug, or really anything with fibers in general, you know, when you get it out of the factory or when you get it from the warehouse, you know, when you get it like fresh and brand new, it's going to have loose fibers. That's just a guarantee. So I went ahead and vacuumed it after I cut it to get all the loose fibers off the ends from the cut, as well as any loose fibers from the middle of it. I vacuumed it pretty good. So now I've swept in there. And so now I have this, which is this foam rubber fibery kind of stuff. That's for putting underneath the carpet so it won't slide around. Also adds a little bit of cushion. It's like that much, So I'm gonna put that down there, and then I'm gonna add the carpet. So we're almost done. Alrighty, so it is now the 28th. No, not the 28th. It's the 8th. It's the 8th. It hasn't been that long. It feels like it's been that long. But it is now the 8th, and which is a Monday. It's Monday. So, yeah. So I have all of the wall panels that I was going to put in. I mean, there's those little corners that I will probably later on put column bass traps in, because I'm still feeling some low bass bounce back. Let's straighten that up. It's weird. Now all I have is to measure out where the cubes are going to go up in the corners, so that I can start putting the panels on the ceiling. I have carpet in here now. Yay! We have carpet. Carpet, beautiful, beautiful, great carpet. There is the non-slip stuff beneath it so it's not going to slide around. And it's got a tiny gap up at the front, and that's probably just from my kind of odd cutting, but it's fine as long as the majority of it is covered. I can hear a difference. I can definitely hear a difference. There is steel bounce off the ceiling, but it's not that bad. As soon as I put stuff on the ceiling, it's pretty much good to go, and I can start recording tonight out of here, which is really good. I'll definitely put my iPad over there, you know, and then as soon as I'm done recording, then try to figure out how I'm going to get a screen in here. But, yeah, that is basically it. So now I just need to do measuring for the cubes and put the pieces up top. I was going to wait until I put carpet in here, but, and wait to put carpet in here until after those were up, but it's fine. It's fine. It's not going to be that big a deal. I just have to make sure that I'm, you know, spraying carefully. Also, I have goo gone or whatever, so even if I do get a little bit of that stuff on the carpet, it can come out really easily. So, yeah, that's what I need to do. Get this finished up. Alrighty, so now what I've done is I have placed thumbtacks up in the corners and then put a string across them to give me this kind of perimeter of where I can put the ceiling pieces. And then once I have them within that area, then I'll take those strings down. But that way I have more than enough room between where the ceiling pieces are going to be and where the corner blocks are going to be. So, so yeah, it also gives me some room around the lights. It also kind of gives me this perimeter around the lights, so I'm not putting anything it's going to kind of overlap or anything like that. So, now it's time to put stuff on the ceiling. Alrighty, so the voiceover space is now basically complete. There's still a little bit of bass in the space, mostly just because it's a large area. And again, there's nothing in the corners as of yet. I do imagine that as soon as I get something in those corners and those corners, that the bass will basically kind of drop off. But as of right now, it is sounding a whole lot better. It's amazing. I'm going to go get the... Where are you? Here we go. This little guy. Grab this. Still kind of smells like the spray in here, but that's totally fine. That's going to go away. I'm going to leave the door open, let the air, leave a little fan blowing in here to try to get rid of that. The pieces on the ceiling seem to be holding nicely. They're not exactly perfect or even, but at first glance, you can hardly tell. I mean, I know that they're not perfect because I put them up there and it's going to bug me, but as long as I don't look at it, it won't bother me. So, now let's see how quiet it is in here. $33. It's not bad. That is not bad. 33 is not bad at all. Now again, it is going to sound a whole lot better when I have the bass traps in there. The bottom area still has those huge gaps, which I also imagine is part of the bassy problem. But basically, if I use a small diaphragm or a shotgun mic or something that's a brighter microphone. Probably going to help with that. Either way, this is all good to go for tonight. So I'm going to go start doing some voiceover. Now, this is basically finished. I'm going to leave it open. I'm going to let it air out. I'm going to go get something to eat because I basically haven't eaten really all that much today. And it is, shit, I think it's like 3 p.m. No, it's probably more like 4 p.m., something like that. But anyway, yeah, now I just have to put a desk over in that corner on the other side of the door, on the other side of that door, just right there where the wall is. No, sorry, on the other side of that wall, on the other side of there, because that's going to be closer to, if I get an Ethernet cable to feed to the internet, that's going to be a better place. And that's going to leave me room to feed cables underneath the door. There's a little bit, there's about that much gap under the door. That's more than enough for cables. I have the moving blanket, you know, kind of covering it a little bit. So it's kind of covering a little bit of that gap, but it's enough that that stuff can still come in, and I'll feed it across that wall, and then it'll come up to here. Put it over here. Feed across that wall, come up to there, and then that's where the screen's gonna go. And then hopefully this is where a little standing desk is gonna be, probably about here. Screen here, screen about here, and then standing desk, shotgun mic. Probably like a little table that I can put like bottled water or scripts or pens and stuff like that. Over in those corners are gonna be the little, what are they, storage footrests. I think that's what they're called on Amazon. They're 1 foot by 1 foot by 1 foot cubes, and they have lids, and you can actually sit on them if you want, but I'm going to use those as both base traps and storage devices. So it's going to be over in that corner. And so, yeah, it is a lot of work to do this. Oh my God. I'm probably going to put the webcam here, attached to a gooseneck there. But at first, I'm probably just going to set it on top of the screen once I get the screen in here. So, yeah, this is a big step up. This is a big step up right here. This is a huge step up. I've never had a space this large for doing voiceover. One that I've had this much room and this much room for my voice to really go out and explore the space, which is a good thing. You kind of want a little bit of room that your voice can actually kind of flow. You don't want it to sound too isolated, and it's going to sound unnatural. So there's probably a little bit of echo coming off this, but I'm not going to cover this because that's to the water line. So if I ever need to shut it off, I still need to get to that. But I did put something to maybe help with reflection. I'm still getting a lot of reflection. If I'm listening back to the audio, I'm still getting a lot of reflection. Then I'll probably glue some foam, a thin amount of foam, a small amount of foam across there. But I do still have panels left, but it's not enough to really treat the room out there. I'll probably put them strategically in the area, but for the most part, that room in there is probably just going to keep with the yellow foam as of current. And I'll just hold on to the remaining Orlex foam or the professional foam until I know what I'm going to do with it. I might still use it to fill in some of these gaps, because there are some gaps up here around the ceiling. I don't think I'm getting a lot of reflection or base from those corners. I don't think. But I do have enough foam that if I wanted to fill those gaps, I could. But I'm out of the spray. I'm basically out of the spray. The spray, the adhesive, just lasted enough for me to put all the panels up top. So I had enough for the door, the corner pieces, these guys, and the ceiling. So I now know how much that spray basically can cover. Either that or I was putting it on too heavily, but it did say an even coat, and I just put an one layer even coat on both surfaces. That's all I did. So I need to kind of wash some of this goo. I don't know if you can see that. There's a little bit of like goo right there. Some of that goo. little drips, so it's kind of got my hair stuck. Oh, you can't really see it. But overall, yeah, that is it. It's looking and sounding great. I need to get something to eat, and then it's back to business as usual. I forgot to do a clap test. Let's do a clap test. Last clap test in here. Well, I'll probably do one if I put up the little bass traps, but that's it for this video. All right. Basically nothing. There's a little bit of low thud. There's a tiny thud, but there's not a sharp reverb because that is taken care of very thoroughly. All right, so this is a test showing off the studio, the complete and total studio. Now, I'm using the Audio-Technica 2020 right now because, like I've said many times, it's a much brighter microphone than the Sennheiser MKH416. And I'm going to kind of use it a little bit to try to help take down some of that bassy, hollow tube sound of this room. Right now, you can barely hear any of it. It's still there, but you can barely hear any of it. You're not hearing any echo. You're not hearing any reverb. But there is still that tube. And a lot of that is because the walls are closer in than the ceiling and the floor is. It's a 8-foot tall, and then it's like a 5x5. So it's going to have that tube sound. So later on, I am actually going to be building some kind of panel that'll basically hang from the ceiling to kind of help bring the ceiling down, the ceiling of the room down a little bit. So I'm going to leave the panels up, and it's just going to be around that. So the panels will still be there. The reverb panels will still be there to help eliminate any echo, but it's going to be bringing the ceiling down so it's not as so basically what it is that the bass of it is it's taking a while to come back to me. Because it's taking a while to come back to me and there's a delay, you can hear it. If it was a shorter ceiling, there wouldn't be as much a delay between that bassy sound and my actual spoken word. So that's basically what I'm getting, from what I understand. So yeah, this is the complete area. I have obviously a webcam over in the far corner, much farther away from me than, you know, I've ever had the webcam before. And it is not designed to be that far away, so it's not able to focus on me, so I'm a little out of focus, a little blurred. There is a music stand right there that's got like papers and stuff like that. Mixer is right there, and it's actually at a good enough distance between here, this screen, these microphones, and the computer, which is right around the corner. And then I have, I don't think you can see it on there, but I have a little, what used to be the thing that was holding the pole for the closet, which is weird that there was only one in here, despite the fact that there were 2 poles. Whew. Sorry, I am very tired. But yeah, there was a pole for putting, like, considering this was a closet, for putting clothes on, and I took that off. But now there's this that support beam that's also kind of, that was supposed to help the shelf rest as well as hold the pole. But I left that in, took out the poles and took out the shelves because they weren't bolted in or nailed in or anything like that. But I left this in because it was, and I actually have it as a place that I can just rest my headphones right there. So I actually have this little piece of glove, some pieces of glove that I have fitting over it. So it doesn't have any sharp edges, so it's not going to continue to tear out the headband of the earphones. So I'm using my little standing chair. Oh, again, don't know if you can see it. I'm not used to where this camera is and how much you can see, but I have the standing chair, which is actually holding a little mouse pad, as well as another mouse pad, because this was actually kind of worn, but this gives me like a flat surface to hold it on, and an old place that I can actually rest and then manipulate the screen. And then all I do is I bring the mouse and the little wire, the Bluetooth adapter, and I just plug it in right there. down at the little hub, which again is going to the computer. Now, one thing I'm probably going to do is I'm probably going to take out this carpet, this not the first carpet, but the little rug I have on the carpet, is because it's sliding around on the carpet again. I might put some of that rubber stuff between them, again putting another layer of insulation, and hopefully it would stop it from sliding around. But yeah, it's just sliding around again like it was in the other studio. Despite the fact that I still have stuff resting on it, it's always sliding forwards. I don't know why that is. But yeah, 2 paper lanterns. Probably going to put more lights in here because it's just not well illuminated. I'm going to try to put LED lights going around the bottom, and then plug those into the hub for power. Put a panel above me to bring the ceiling down, and then some storage footrests over in the corners to try to maybe eliminate some more bass sound in the bottom corners. Other than that, this is done. This is a full studio. I'm not as proud of the audio quality in here as I was with the other one. Mostly just because I'm closer to traffic. This is a 3-story apartment, and I'm at the bottom of 3 stories, as opposed to being at the bottom of a 2-story. So there's a lot more activity happening above me, and there's more neighbors, on either side of me. So it's just something I gotta live with and deal with. Chances are that means I'll just have to turn the lower frequencies down on my mixer, maybe to try to cut out some of that. But ultimately, this is what I got. This is what I'm working with. It looks better, but it actually doesn't sound as good. It actually doesn't sound as good. And if I'm quiet, you can hear noise. You gotta really listen for it, but that's traffic noise. I'm pretty sure it's gonna kind of go away a little bit once I get rid of that or block out that window. But yeah, this is it. This is the entire studio, and I am tired. It took 4 or 5 straight days to do all this. Maybe if I had double layered the I think it's like a plane or a helicopter. I don't know why these apartments are thinner and cheaper. I mean, I'm the same distance away from like the walls and the windows in this space as I was the other one. For some reason I can just pick up helicopters a whole lot louder. So I don't know. I don't know what to do. There's a truck. There's a truck right now. Big truck. Lots of people with big trucks, and it's really infuriating. It's really infuriating because they're just useless. Nobody needs them. Nobody needs trucks that big. So anyway, thank you guys for watching. This was a long video, a long process. But hope you guys liked it. Hope you guys learned something. Leave down in the comment section below if you have any suggestions, any questions. Totally, willing to answer as best as I can. I mean, that's one of the things that I do on here is answer questions as best I can, to the best of my abilities. Subscribe if you're new, bell for notifications, and I guess that's it. So stay tuned for more videos. Until next time, peace.